Well, the city has got a lot of pressure from the sports teams to want to plant sport fields into Fairview Park, whether it's in this quadrant or in the quadrant over by the trains. And the problem with that is that once you start putting fields in and parking for the fields and everything else, what you wind up by doing is taking this whole park away. Eventually you overpave most of the park. And this park has a variety of processes going on in it that should not be eliminated in any circumstances. If anything, we should be doing restorative work across this park to bring it back to what it was probably originally back 500 or 600 years ago. And that's an important aspect of what we should be doing. If you look at some of the choices that were made, there was a decomposed granite path that was put down by somebody. Nobody knows who it was and nobody will admit to it, but it actually wound up by overrunning or being over the top as part of the vernal pool. Oh, the order for the change was done by the federal Fish and Wildlife.
U.S. Fish and Wildlife?
Yeah, and they basically said, you know, guys, not only have you violated and taken fairy shrimp, which are the endangered species in our vernal pools, but you also have impinged on the watershed that keeps the water in the pools for the time period to make the fairy shrimp come back. So by doing that, you have violated a whole bunch of rules. So now they've said that you're going to have to do a number of actions to rectify the action of a small group of people who just seemed to think that they could do whatever they wanted to this park because I guess they had the right and authority to obliterate what everybody else can enjoy.
Thank you. So, looking out to the north towards Los Angeles, Jay, we have quite a big change for a long distance, don't we? From what our little jewel here that we're standing in Fairview Park.
Right.
What do you think about that?
Well,
What do you think about what is, if you were to traverse 50 miles in your mind right now, in a straight line, roughly towards downtown Los Angeles?
Well,
What do you think about the status of that, about what you would run across over that 50 miles, and what perhaps in another world, another vision, what it could have been, what it should have. Well, I won't put words in your mouth.
When you look at between here and Los Angeles, I mean, this is a huge urban community, and it's incumbent on us to be stewards of that urban community. And the way you do that is make sure you have adequate open space, you have adequate parks, and you have a diversity of parks. Because you need to provide services as a whole community that allows people to do a variety of things. But that doesn't mean you convert everything to one type. You have to have everything. We have a beautiful swatch of land that runs all the way from up at the top edge of Fairview all the way down to the ocean. And that whole path is a path that is all the same, undisturbed to some extent, some not, some very disturbed arenas, but it's a path that is pretty natural, and we can enjoy a lot of it. And if we can keep it that way, we can in fact have that for generations to come and see what the California coast was all about, what the animals that are shaped from this environment and how they deal with their lives, and how we as people impact those.
And interact with those.
Right. Well, we get that opportunity by having the place for us to interact. If you don't have the place, there's no place to interact with them.
No space, no deal.
Exactly.
Right.
So if we build this out, woe unto us. Woe unto us.
Woe unto us.